I was painting on canvas when I first started. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it then, but I didn't know how good it was to paint on like such a hard and like just smooth surface.
Yeah. Okay, Nancy Cloonan. I hope I'm saying that properly. That's how that's what I've been going with. But thanks for coming in. We're excited to have a conversation with you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you were part of the show we just had up of Marianne's Arty Pants Magazine. What was your connection with her? And you know, fire off. Just I'd love to hear a little bit about your background.
Yeah, Marianne, I met her about a year and a half ago at a First Fridays in Plymouth, because I live in Plymouth.
Yep.
And she's like, I see her as the great connector.
Yep.
She's amazing. My friends and I were out to dinner, and then we just happened upon Heyday Supply. And she was there, and my one friend's like, oh, Nancy's an artist. So we just kind of met. She put a Arty Pants tattoo on me.
Nice.
That didn't come off for days, which was awesome. And she told me to submit for Arty Pants because they had already had their first issue.
Yep.
And I submitted for that second issue, not knowing what it was. And it was an exciting time, and I got in, which was awesome. It was, what was it called? Summer Places, I think.
Yep.
And that was great. And then we, next year comes around, it's Labyrinth. And I was like, we'll do it again.
Yep.
I did it again. And I got a message from her saying, I didn't get your application. And I was like, no, because I did it on my phone. I mostly do everything on my phone. And then she was like, oh, I do have it.
Yeah.
So then I got into that one, which was awesome.
And being part of the magazine has been a good experience? Or?
Yeah, it's been great to get to know other artists that are out there. I feel like being in Plymouth is like a little bit, it's not really isolated, but it's like, it's further away from where a lot of the people are, and that's fine. Plus I'm abstract.
Yep. And
a lot of people aren't so abstract.
I think of Plymouth is kind of right in the middle, right? Because there's a great art scene on the Cape.
Yep.
And I think there's a great art scene here on the South Shore.
Yeah.
And Plymouth's kind of, you can go either way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I feel like gravitating up this way.
Yep.
So yeah, Marianne's great, and then to have the physical show. Thank you so much again for
my pleasure.
Having this space for us to use, which was great.
I thought it was awesome. It's a good partnership for us also. Marianne's what she's doing, I think, is really cool. I think it's anything that elevates arts in this area, I think, is important, and it's a great experience. There's definitely artists. Not every artist comes to the Frame Center at this point, so
yeah. Well, and it brought me in.
It's another step to getting us there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it's been a lot of fun, and using this space for something like that is. That's why we have the space.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's fun. It's different art, and then it gives our customers who come in an opportunity to be exposed to art that they might not normally see. So,
well, you're the great connector too, then.
I think when I talked to Marianne, I feel like we hit it off, and she is always trying to connect me with other people, and we need to have relationships that are mutually beneficial. I think we can connect artists and buyers, or at least people that want to see their art, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I have this weird thing of, art does not always, supporting art doesn't always necessarily mean buying it. I mean, buying it, I think, is very helpful in a number of ways, but, let's get started. Let's get in the door. Let's appreciate it. Let's look at art, and let's, talk about it, right?
Well, yeah, being seen is the big thing. And actually, buying it is great, but it's also, then it's in their space. Who knows how often it would be seen.
Yeah.
Right now I have, speaking of being seen, I have 3 paintings in Leiden Street Coffee.
Yep,
Have you heard of that?
I have. I saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Oh my God. It was like, I went in there and I was like, wow, you need to have some of my paintings on this big dark wall. It was just like begging for it.
Yep.
So I emailed Larry and he was like, oh, this is great. So it was perfect.
Are they for sale or?
Yeah, they're for sale too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not drinking any alcohol. I drink a lot of coffee, so.
Well, yeah, so that's your spot.
My next trip to Plymouth, that'll definitely be a stop.
It's great. Like
looks great. In the
I've been
pictures.
going to that place since they opened in that location. They were in. They were just trying to find a home, and then it was the old Dunkin' Donuts, and it didn't have a drive-through, so it was like perfect for them, but not for Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
And they made the switch, and it's a well-attended shop, which is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have your art out in a lot of places in Plymouth, or?
Not so much in Plymouth. I did do that show in Heyday Supply, which was awesome. I did a First Fridays, May 2nd, and she was trying to get artists to come in. She sells like home and apparel goods, and it was a cute little shop and right across from Pilgrim Hall. Like it was great. It was also well attended, and then I just I do apply for like open calls. And I'm part of Newburyport Art Association. It's kind of far, but we have relatives up that way, so it's
whatever.
Kind of a stretch, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to, be a part. You don't have to live in the area to be a part of these organizations, and being a part of them and you're paying dues is also another way of supporting these. Supporting the arts. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I joined Abstract Artists Group of New England through Newburyport. It's a little tough because it's got to drive through Boston to get your stuff there. So I'm like trying to figure out now. I'm like I got to mail stuff to them, but it's great being part of that group too. And they have a website, and they're doing like sorry, I have a frog in my throat.
No,
they're doing trying to get out there too as a group, which is great.
Now, have you been in Plymouth for a long?
Yeah, we've been there since '93.
'93.
Yeah.
Are you a part of the group in the Plymouth Center for the Arts?
Yes. Yeah, they've changed the name a couple times.
Yeah, I was just down there doing a video. That's a great space.
Yeah, it is. It's an awesome space. They've done so much to improve it, and they had a lot of, I think, ADA compliance that they had to do, which it's a historic building, and yeah.
I'm looking forward to the sculpture garden out back when they get that.
And,
And then we toured through, and I didn't realize how much space was underneath, too.
Yeah, actually, I started, I was always an artist, but I started doing, like, abstract painting in that basement with my friend Sarah Bates Washburn. She's an artist who, she's a professor at Bridgewater now.
Okay.
And it was great. We had, like, the best time in that, like, downstairs, like, little pit.
Yep.
And so I did that for a couple of years, and then I just started to reconnect in other ways, like years after that, which was awesome.
Nice. So it's 17 studio. That's.
Yeah, Sarah actually named me number 17 because she knew so many Nancys. So she's like, "You're just number 17." So she doesn't even really remember my name.
Really?
She just calls me 17.
So that was the reasoning behind that name.
Yeah, and she renamed my daughter 8.5 because it's half of 17.
Nice.
She's just silly.
Nice. And is that open? Or do people come in and is that like a storefront space to it, or is that just where you do it?
No, that's just creating? What I call it. Yeah, I currently paint in an upstairs room in our house, which is a really old cape.
Yep.
So I have like the slanted ceilings, and I just recently built a painting wall. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see it. I'm like super excited about it because it's changed the way I can produce all at once. Like I always have like several paintings going at a time, like probably like 40.
Really?
But they're all not touched all at once.
Yep.
But with the wall, like the wall is probably about this size, like things like 90 inches wide. I can hang all the paintings next to each other and literally paint them at the same time.
Nice.
So it's been awesome. And we also have a barn, but it's not insulated, so it's not the best for off season. Well, and then even now it's been so rainy, it just gets a little damp in there, so it's hard. So
you
I'll stay upstairs.
You want to have a roof over your head.
Exactly. Well, and AC
heat or
and heat,
AC, yeah.
which is nice.
So so all abstract. Have you always been like an abstract painter, or did you evolve into that?
I think I kind of always have been, even though I went through periods of time when I wasn't painting. I just always have these shapes in my head. Color is secondary, even though color, like you can see here, is like, it's a lot.
Yep.
But I'm a dog walker, and I've been doing that for almost 21 years.
Yep.
And I just spend my whole life, I just spend looking.
Yep.
And like mostly not up, mostly down. And there's so much cool stuff on the ground. And then it's crazy. I think sometimes my husband doesn't fully believe that I'm painting the shapes I see until I go, look at this. And sometimes I paint something. Actually, this is amazing that I brought this. This shape right here. I was walking the dog, I don't know, maybe like 4 weeks ago, and it had rained overnight. There's a puddle, and it's exactly that shape.
Okay.
And it has to rain just enough and not too much for that shape to show up. So it's kind of crazy. It's like it gets in there. And then it comes out.
So when you see something like that, are you like snapping a picture of it, or you just keep committing it to memory?
I do a little bit of both, but I definitely took a picture of that puddle that day after I mean, this painting was already done and like on the wall. And I was like, wow, there it is. So, it goes in and it stays in there and comes out somehow. And
then when you're working on a piece like that, how do you assign the colors to it, just to the shapes? I mean, I'm guessing that
it's a
that
whole
shape
thing.
wasn't,
Everything, because I paint in multiple layers. Like, this was something totally different so many times. I'm patient, which is good. Like, it's definitely not for the impatient.
You're one of those people.
I am. I'm one of those people. I could paint all day and not, finish anything. Everything takes a little bit of time, which is why I have so many going at once. And basically, I kind of play until something starts to show up. And then it's about, making sure the design is right. And then a lot of times it's the value that's not right, the lightness or darkness of something. So even though I might be in love with a certain part, I have to cover it up because it doesn't work for the whole. So this one did take quite a bit. There's a companion to it that's at home. And they both took me forever to finish.
Do you find yourself like, since you're working with so many pieces at once, did they evolve into like diptychs and triptychs, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm working on one now because of the wall. I have them smashed up against each other, like it's a. It's because I'm here. I have them smashed up against each other like it's a one piece. So it's like 80 inches wide. But they'll come apart, and then I take them and flip them, and I paint them, in all directions. I love the square, but this time I'm painting in like a rectangle, which is like, ooh, big deal for me. But yeah, so they just kind of come together, and sometimes it's a surprise. Like, I'll go in there and I'll go, well, I'm just going to work for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wow. I think it's done. Usually I go to sleep, wake up, and then I go
back and look again.
Need a little tweak, or I reserve the right to tweaks from time to time.
Nice. And then so you've always worked abstractly. Do you have what was were you a design like student, or did you study art or self-taught?
Yeah, I went to college and majored in art, so it's not a fine arts degree, but it's a BA in art, and my concentrations were printmaking and photography. So I definitely see a lot of that, and I take so many photographs still, and especially now that we have phones that are just like at the ready. And then the printmaking is all about repetition and I love that. Like I love repeating my shapes or
Yep.
repeating actions. So yeah, I also do like a lot of workshops.
Yep.
Sometimes they're not completely related. Sometimes they are, but they all kind of get in there.
Yep.
And I'm just always looking. Like
Yeah.
that's like the major component is just keep looking.
Keep looking at the sceneries or looking at what other people are working on too, and get like
Yeah, it's weird. I don't totally I look at what other people are doing, but I don't go, oh, I have to do that.
Yep.
I'm like mostly looking at shadows and reflections and, I just get like pretty micro.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they end up there.
Now, do you have you mentioned your friend that you were working on? They named you the 17.
Yeah,
gave you the
Sarah.
17. Was she like someone like a somebody you just did work with? Is she a mentor towards you, or
Yeah, I'd
did
say
you
she's a
have
little
other
bit of
people?
both, and she's a friend. She's a good friend now too. This was probably back in like maybe 2009 we met.
Yep.
So it's been a while. And when I took her class, it was she taught us like a whole bunch of like approaches, like techniques, and that was kind of good because it really, was like a jumping off point.
Yeah.
And I just needed to keep painting.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much how you.
Well,
That's
it's
how you get good at it.
Good
That's
at
how you-
anything, right?
You got to just keep doing it.
Yeah, that's why
It's
I'm
the answer people don't want to hear, but it's the answer that is true.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I feel like that's even with the podcast too. I feel like when I get to about 200, maybe I'll start to be okay at this.
You're getting better and better each time.
I hope so. But I think that anything, painting, collecting art, anything, or like viewing art and forming opinions on it, just the more you do it, and just sports, just practice, keep showing up, and eventually you're after a decade or two, you've become good at it, right?
Yeah, the answer is obvious.
Yeah. But it's I guess maybe it's just an answer some people don't want to hear.
Well, yeah, I think some people think there's like a shortcut
Yep.
to everything, because there are a lot of shortcuts, especially with the world we live in now with technology. But there's no shortcut here. Like, and it shows. Like, if I show you what it looks like, like 10 steps before this, you'd be like, oh, that's not done.
Yeah.
Like it's just thin. It's not built up enough.
How do you know when you just like when you're finished? Do you throw the signature on it, or put it into the frame? Like, once it's at this phase, signed and framed, will you leave it alone, or will you keep?
Yeah, well, I end up putting a cold wax medium on it and then buffing it. So
once that's done,
that's done, but you can remove it. But I have not done that ever. I know it's possible, but yeah, once I do the cold wax, then I'm done. So a lot of my paintings that are done don't have the cold wax on them, just in case, just in case. But I stamp my name on with because I always paint on wood. And when I do that, I can still tweak a little bit around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, once the cold wax is on, then it's done.
Nice. Yeah. You didn't always why on wood? Any significance?
Oh,
or?
I was painting on canvas when I first started. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it then, but I didn't know how good it was to paint on like such a hard and like just smooth surface.
Yep.
And I do some gouging, some sanding.
Yep.
And you can do that with canvas, but it's just not the same. Plus, like, I get a lot of translucency with the wood that you just can't really achieve.
Yeah, like you can see, a lot going on in some of those areas. Is that partially the sanding? Is that the way you're applying it? Or?
Yeah, I think it's not all acrylic.
Yeah.
It's like I love the grease pencil. I love the grease pencil. It's so nice. I love some materials so much, and I love graphite. I don't know if there's a lot of graphite in this one, probably on the underlayers.
Yep.
And then the Neocolor 2s, which are water-soluble crayons, and actually wax crayons too. So you get a little bit of resist with the wax. But, and And then I always put gloss medium between the layers so that you get,
Yeah, just
it's almost like a new start. You
Yeah.
can wipe it off easily if you want to, or leave it, and then you get a little bit more translucency each time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mainly Plymouth. You mentioned a couple art associations. Do you show on the South Shore much, or is it like at North River or Cohasset?
Those are places I need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one place in Maryland Federation of Art,
Yeah.
that I just did like open call
Yeah.
stuff, and they just keep saying, yes, you're submitted. So
Yeah.
you're you're in. So I've done that a number of times, but then it's shipping, you
Yeah.
know, so it's kind of a drag that way.
Yeah.
But I think my ultimate goal,
Have you made a trip down there to see the?
No. No, I really should. I was away when the show happened last year, and then I found out, and I didn't even know this, they had an online award ceremony, and I got best in show for the painting.
No kidding.
And I felt so bad. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know. So it was like a great surprise.
Yep. How did you find that? It was just like an open call that caught the. But I mean, what drew you to entering that one?
I think it might have been whatever the theme of the first show was. It's Call for Art Entry, cafe, whatever that is.
Yep.
It's like a big submission site.
Yeah. Did they just email? Because I've heard that some of those sites. I mean, because obviously they're getting a cut of how many entries there are. Like some of the entry whatever.
The fee.
Yeah. So, that they do a good job publicizing that sort of thing. Is that?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a local sort of draw as well, almost like if you did North River. Well, actually, Newburyport, the show I'm in now, is a national call.
Yep.
So you get local people going, but the artists are from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, as long as they're juried into the show.
And willing to ship it out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, and I've, I can get to Newburyport, but not really to Maryland as easily. So, yeah, I've had to ship.
Was that a tough process, or?
It's just costly.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's a balancing thing. If they keep accepting your work,
yeah, I'm like, I should keep doing it. And then I think one of my pieces sold.
Yep.
So I was like, well, that's good. That kind of, offsets the shipping.
Yeah, that must be a tricky one too, right? So you want to make the price high enough so you can include the shipping there and back, but you want it to be low enough so you don't have to.
Yeah, you really have to keep your pricing consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just either taking a hit for the, getting out there, which is, part of my plan. And then, one day it's a long game, right?
Yeah, no. Well, you said you're patient. So.
Yes, I'm patient. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that it's nice to see art, like some of the organizations seeing art that you don't see every time, right? So, expanding that footprint and sending the stuff is, and shipping seems to be getting easier and easier with, the Amazon, mindset and,
Yeah, it's just something we do.
And once you get the hang of packaging it, right, you gotta.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'm knock on wood. I haven't had anything go sideways.
Yeah,
people do, but
well, you're not working under glass either, right? Or in pastel, that's going to be a tough one to.
Well, yeah, that would be like you're hand delivering it horizontally. I don't even know how pastels exist for on the wall.
Yeah, well, especially if you're clumsy, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. No, but I think that. Shipping the stuff out. I mean, especially if you're, if you have a website like you do, or ncloonan.net, right?
Yes, and it's under construction at this point, or ish.
But if you're selling stuff on, online, you're gonna have to figure out the shipping aspect to, reach customers who are not just walking in. If somebody sees it online and wants to purchase it, and they're in California, you got to figure out a way to get it out there.
Yeah, I just recently had to ship to Canada.
Yeah. And
it was like I'm in this program through Art to Life. It's like an online, talk about a great connector. Nicholas Wilton is his name. He's got this program called Creative Visionary Program, and I've done it a number of times. And I met this woman through that, and she was like, "I need that painting, but I'm in Calgary," and I was like, "All right, I'll get it to you." But it
Yeah, I've shipped.
it worked. It was great. She needed to have it, so I needed her to have it too. So I got it there.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, do you have a connection to a lot of the people that have bought your pieces, or is it? I know sometimes galleries aren't, there's kind of a separation as to like who's bought the piece and who's,
Yeah, a couple have been like complete strangers. I don't know where they went, which is kind of cool in its own way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's out there.
Yeah.
Which is one of my, desires.
Yeah, you want this, but are they, you're not so attached that they're children that you want.
Yeah, well, they are, but I'm putting them out there, so you have to like just leave it up to, up to fate. Like if somebody finds their piece, then they get to have it, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking if they're going to buy it, then they needed to have it.
In there.
I just did it this weekend at Cohasset Festival for the Arts. I was walking around. I had a friend there that's a sculptor. He does salvage metal.
Okay.
Welding. Like he does incredible work.
What's his name?
Jeff Whittam.
Okay.
He's in New Hampshire. And I've been friends with his wife since 5th grade.
Yep.
So we met and we're walking around and I saw this potter and I was like, oh, I need that.
Yeah.
So I had to buy it. It's just,
Yeah, Cohasset. I'm on the board over at Cohasset, and I got there at like 5:30 on Sunday. I was at
too late.
My son was playing in a hockey tournament, and I kept on being like, I hope that, okay, if they lose at 8 o'clock, I'll be back by the. They
kept winning.
Yeah, they kept winning. They played championship at 3, and we got there, got to see a couple. I wanted to be there at the end and see Aldous Collins, who.
Oh yeah, we left right before he went on.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of his set, but we were there. Everyone just packing up.
They can't wait to leave. They've been there since Friday afternoon. Yeah. But
it was a good take this year.
It was great.
Yeah.
I hadn't been in a while too, so I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe just busy weekends. And, yeah.
I mean, it's a full-time job to try to get to all of these events.
It sure is.
And like schedule. I mean, that one I felt like should be like on my calendar, and then I like overcommitted for the weekend and
always.
Yeah, like try to squeeze in that and visit my father and a hockey tournament, and it's like how you can't get it all done.
Yeah, you're in there in spirit.
Yeah, no. I mean, I got a lot of frames that made it into it.
That's good.
I did get to see the show on at their kickoff party gala or whatever.
That's good. The tent show.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I did get to walk through the show and pick up a piece, but which I have to go back and pick up at some point.
It wasn't that adorable little bunny.
No,
I wanted that so bad. I'm like, of course that one's gone.
Roz Farbush, one of the 4 pieces. They were on the.
I don't remember if I saw it.
I don't know if maybe they were just up for the opening night. She was like she passed away years ago, and one of my favorite painters. So the fact that they had 4 pieces of hers
you had to
on
have
display,
one.
Yeah. My friend Kelly sent me a message. It was like, bring your wallet because they
you better get over here.
They have 4 pieces. Yeah.
Oh,
of
that's
Roz's
great!
there.
I love that. That's really good.
Yeah. She was my first big purchase, like real art purchase was a piece of hers. So
that's great. It's like a nice full circle.
Yeah. So I was excited that she had 4 pieces there, and that somebody had donated to help raise money for the organization. I don't know.
That's great.
I don't know the structure of it.
Yeah, but you have it now.
Yeah, I do, and I'm excited to pick it up and frame it and get it on the walls at my house.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bunny. I'm trying. It was
a tiny little square, and it was just a bunny's head. I don't even know what the medium was, but I was like, oh, there's a red dot.
No. Well, I'm glad to hear that do you buy a lot of stuff?
I do. Yeah, I can't help it.
I think that's almost like something you have to live, right? If you want to tell people they should be buying art and having art on their walls, you have to partake in it too, right?
Well, yeah, and also like I do this.
Yep.
Nobody else does that because I do that, and I need to have other people's, like, I can't do the stuff that I bought, like this vase I bought. Like, there's no way I'm making that and glazing it so perfectly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just great to have other people's work all around.
Yeah, and it's like it's circular too, right? That you want to support the community,
exactly,
and get people excited about buying artwork.
Yeah, and I've done some trades before, which is great.
Yeah,
like through my Art to Life program, I've met so many people that I've hardly met in person.
Yeah.
Paula Borsetti, who was in Arty Pants Magazine, I've met her in person because she lives in Beverly, so she's not that far. But I have a lot of people in California, and just even.
So what's the Art to Life?
It's this online course. It's like I think it's 14 weeks with a couple of rest weeks built in, and it's for basically anybody on the creative path. Like, I know how to paint, but some people don't know how to paint and they want to.
Yep.
And he just takes you through like video modules, support, like Zoom calls, coaching, and it's incredible because he works on mindset and then like, the hardcore like value in design and, just actually making a painting. And then at the end you do a series. And I've done it 4 times. This is my 4th time doing it in a row.
Yep.
The first time was, so much.
Yep.
And you have the program for a year. You can watch everything for a year, and it's awesome.
And how's the community aspect of it come into it? Is it like a critiques, or is there just feedback? How do you connect and see other people's artworks through that?
Yeah, it's when they have community calls where you can everybody can
just like a big
participate,
Zoom,
which
just
is
like a big Zoom call.
Yeah, he's like, and he's really expanding from. He started it in 2016, and then I think a lot of people joined during the pandemic because everybody was like, "Oh, I got to do something."
Yeah,
I gotta, But there's the online portal.
Yep.
Is great for communicating if you have questions, and it's my 4th time doing it, so I don't really ask
any
questions
you're
anymore.
like a pro now, right?
Yeah, and you can do it so many times, and then he has like a follow-up sort of subscription.
Yeah.
Art to Life Academy. I've done that.
Yep.
They do master classes, like inspiration, like interviews, and then they also do like a critique sort of thing. But everything is like not like hardcore art school stuff, which is so appealing to so many people because you're here to you're a work of art, just make art, and it's not so critical. Like some people, like I remember like being in critiques in college, and you're like, you just want to hide.
Yeah,
it's not like that at all. It's the opposite.
Yeah, a lot of positivity.
Yeah, and the age range is like probably people in their early 20s to like 80s, which is fantastic.
Yeah, well, there's something to be said about diversity, right? Like, in age and, you can go in any direction, but age and experience and, sometimes people that know nothing about art yet are the best, ones to critique or to point things out, because it's like a child, like it's just an honest opinion or,
I agree.
Or a free spirit, like putting stuff, putting paint onto a surface without being like self-conscious about it or,
Yeah, and that's why he works on the mindset stuff first, just to kind of just get to why do you want to be here on Earth? And then what do you want to do? And like, just like it's amazing freedom.
Yeah.
And some people just hold back so much.
Yeah.
And if they can break through, it's like it's the best gift you can give to yourself, Yeah, so it's great. And I've met so many people that, I have a Zoom group. Most of them are West Coast, but some people are in other parts of the country, and there might even be somebody not in our country. I can't remember.
Yep.
But we paint just, you going in. She just kind of has an open Zoom that she set up, and
yep. So
and
you
we
guys
just
are painting
we're just painting or like not talking or talking. Like it's just great because it's almost like having a common studio.
Yep.
But you're just connected through online.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I think that that's a nice thing about the art scene and like the community aspect, right? Like you build friendships. I mean, I see people that are taking like classes from regular instructors over and over again, and because it's like their group,
Yes,
their
it's your people.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it really that's important in creating art, but it's also important in life, right?
Correct. Well, yeah, and that's why he named it Art to Life,
Yeah.
because it just really, they're one and the same.
Yeah. Well, I think there's so many things like like again, like sports and art. There's so many lessons to be learned for life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The repetition, the being free and not being self-conscious, and just being willing to get out there. A lot of important lessons.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if doing it that much, are you now like a mentor to people?
Yes. Yeah. I've actually, I was contacted by a woman, I think it was back in the late fall, who was like, "Oh, you're doing a workshop?" And I haven't done a workshop in a while, or like to teach a workshop, and I'm kind of not set up for it because my space is tiny, and I'm not set up technology wise to do it that way.
Yep.
And we just kind of went back and forth, and then I said, "Well, do you want to just do like you and me, like and so we started doing that, and it's been great.
Yeah.
And actually, she's the reason why I did the Creative Visionary program again. I was going to stop at 3.
Yeah.
But she wanted to do it, and I was like, you need to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
And he's got a nice little reciprocity. If you're an alumni, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And then if you get somebody to sign up,
Yep.
then they basically reimburse you for it.
Yeah.
So it's free.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing mentoring with her a lot less because Creative Visionary program's still going on until like maybe 2 more weeks.
Yep.
And then I myself needed to hire somebody because I just really want to take myself and my art further.
Yeah.
I just want to expand. So I started working with this woman a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's amazing.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that the whole mentorship thing is, it's important. And, even being on the other side of being the mentor, the one teaching, I mean, once you can explain something or teach something, I mean, it just takes you to the next level as well, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like give and take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you get, these ideas or new things, especially if you're working with children, right? Then something might catch you off guard completely, but it's in a good way, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Nice. Awesome. Well, anything coming up? Any big shows or?
I don't foresee anything huge.
Yeah.
I have the paintings over at Leiden Street, and then working with this mentor.
Yeah.
I want to work on like that
Yeah.
aspect of it. So it's technology, which I'm really rough at.
Yeah.
Like I'm self-diagnosed dyslexic. Like I totally am. Like I just have workarounds for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to help me to get my website even better so that I can, when you apply for things like a residency or a gallery, or, you can just be ready to go and say, here's my website, a newsletter,
Yep.
and my email list. So I got to like just kind of start there and kind of grow from there. So yeah, I'm open.
Yeah, I thought the website looked good. I mean, I popped on quick.
Yeah,
you
I had
pieces
help
for sale on there. You have
It helped doing it, but I'm like, I can't maintain it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need more help with that too.
Yeah.
So
the other thing I noticed on the website too is like the series, like different the paintings were kind of categorized into different groups. Or,
Yep.
Like how do you is that just like when you have them all out on the wall and you just start working?
That's a good question. I usually start a series with like squares.
Yeah.
But I'll go, all right, I'm gonna get maybe 6 to 7 panels that are usually the same size. And I'm going to start them together. And they don't all finish together, but maybe now that I have the wall, I can do that. But yeah, and then I'm always thinking of titles.
Yep.
Like, always thinking of titles because I walk dogs all day. So talk to them about my title possibilities.
They giving you any good ones?
They do. They sometimes do. And a lot of it comes from music. So I'll title the series, and then usually it happens like they just get a number when they finish.
Yep.
Like, number 1 is the first one finished. Sometimes number 2 is the second one finished. And then the series is titled like that.
And is there usually a tie-in too? Like, since you started them together, are you working in the same colors, or like? No?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'm very lazy about my palette. I have a Stay Wet palette, and I put a lid on it, and I keep it's layers of paper towels and then tracing paper on top, and then you put the paint on top of the tracing paper, and I don't wash my brushes. Rarely wash my brushes. So that's when you get the good colors, because I kind of keep them as value brushes. Like, oh, that's a dark brush. I wipe it off a little bit, but then, you start mixing in the next color, and it's a little dirty, but that's why you don't have any like standout, oh, I come from the tube colors in my paintings, except for once in a while I'll pop one in. But I can't remember the question you asked.
Oh, it was about the series. And what connects them. But it sounds like a lot of it's mostly timing.
So and sometimes the palette is so like, I can add paint to it, but sometimes it's a mess. Like I have one at home that's a mess right now, and I just keep like finding areas to put brushes and like, and I spray it with water. But if I end that palette and start another one, and I don't ever put the same colors out, really the same, because I'm not like that painter. I'm like more loose.
Palettes sometimes are like work of art.
They are. I print them a lot in my sketchbook.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, it's just
yeah.
So
no.
good.
I mean, I was at my friend Sergio's studio, and he's got this oil painter, and it's just like towers of paint. It's just like so cool.
Yeah, I have them. I have a stack of them.
Yeah.
I want to try to. I've done this before, but I end up covering it up all the time because I just can't stop with the layers.
Yeah.
I want to have like some of it show through.
Yep.
Sometimes there's like I don't even know if there's one in here, but just I'll put it in there. I'll like glue it in with gloss medium, and I'm like, well, no, that's just a bump.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the palette will change, and then that's why within the series sometimes the colors don't maintain the same, but they do kind of have a common thread. Yeah. Because of. They're like family. Timing, they started out as family. You know?
That's good. I mean, maybe there's some similar shapes and stuff. It just seemed like, I guess the timing is a good way to tie them together.
I think so. Yeah, it's kind of some direction to head in. Like, make your series cohesive.
Nice. And you feel like you've found a nice community through the Arty Pants.
Yes, Arty
connection.
Pants and Art to Life, and just local people too. Like, it's been amazing, and there's even more people to meet.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's countless people to meet. I was excited to meet you and a number of the other artists through Marianne, and it's nice to have somebody there just saying, hey, you need to talk to this person, or you need to, you need to meet so and so, and just being open to those conversations. I think is great.
Yeah, because we're all out there, but we just don't know it.
Yeah.
Until hang on.
Yeah, and then common things and common struggles and people you can ask questions or whose artwork you can continue to look at. So
yeah, it's good.
Well, I'm excited you came in. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more and look forward to the new, more polished website and keeping an eye on your stuff. And hopefully you'll see some of it here at some point or some of the other art associations.
That'd be great.
And we'll certainly connect and find a way to keep our community aware of what you're up to.
Great. Thank you.
My pleasure.